Hello, my name is Sofia Frodinska-Kovalchuk. I am an IT lawyer. This is my personal blog regarding IT legal news that may impact IT business, which provides services in the EU, UK, and the USA. Today I want to talk about EU Digital Services Act. The DSA will apply to online intermediary services, namely online marketplaces, app stores, collaborative economy platforms, search engines, and social media platforms. Disclaimer: content is for informational purposes only. It's not intended to be a substitute for professional legal advice. Let's go. When will Digital Services Act come into force? On the 16th November 2024, the Digital Services Act became effective. The full text of the DSA you can find on the official website at the following link. On the 25th April 2023, the Commission adopted their first designation decisions under DSA, designating 17 very large online platforms and 2 very large online search engines that reach at least 45 million monthly active users. The very large online platforms are as follows: Alibaba, AliExpress, Amazon Store, Apple App Store, Facebook, Google Play, Google Maps, Booking.com, Google Shop, Instagram, LinkedIn, Pinterest, etc. 2 very large online search engines are as follows: Bing, Google Search. These companies will now have to comply within 4 months with the full set of new obligations under DSA. The full text of the designation decision of the Commission you can find at the following link. On the 7th February 2024, the DSA will be fully enforced. Shall your company comply with the Digital Services Act? Due to Article 2nd, Part 1st, the DSA shall apply to intermediary services offered to recipients of the service that have their place of establishment or are located in the EU, irrespective of where the providers of those intermediary services have their place of establishment. It means that the DSA has the extraterritorial action, the same as the GDPR. The main question is to understand, does your company provide intermediary services? There are different types of intermediary services due to the DSA. It can be mere conduit service, caching service, hosting service. The type of hosting service is an online platform or an online search engine, which is also a type of intermediary service. Let's go. Does your company provide a mere conduit service, which consists of the transmission in a communication network of information provided by a recipient of the service or the provision of access to a communication network? If yes, it means that your company provides mere conduit service and it's a type of intermediary service. That's why the Digital Services Act is applicable to your company. Does your company provide a caching service, which consists of the transmission in a communication network of information provided by a recipient of the service involving the automatic intermediaries and temporary storage of that information, performed for the sole purpose of making more efficient the information's onward transmissions to other recipients upon their request? If yes, that means that your company provides intermediary services and shall comply with the Digital Services Act. Does the company provide a hosting service, which consists of the storage of information provided by and at the request of a recipient of the service? If yes, that means that your company provides intermediary services and the Digital Services Act is applicable to your company. There is additional provisions applicable to providers of online platforms mentioned in the Section 3 of the DSA. With aim to understand whether Section 3 of the DSA will be applicable to your company, you need to understand whether your company is an online platform or not. An online platform is a hosting service that, at the request of a recipient of the service, stores and disseminates information to the public unless that activity is a minor and purely ancillary feature of another service or a minor functionality of the principal service and for objective and technical reasons cannot be used without that other service and the integration of the feature or functionality into the other service is not means to circumvent the applicability of this DSA? If yes, it means that Section 3 of DSA shall be applicable to your company. But there is exception. Section 3, with the exception of Article 24, Part 3 thereof, shall not apply to providers of online platforms that qualify as micro or small enterprises. What does it mean, micro-enterprise? It's an enterprise which employs fewer than 10 persons and whose annual turnover and annual balance sheet total doesn't exceed 2 million euro. If yes, then your company shall not be applicable to Section 3 of the DSA. Does the company qualify as small enterprise? It means an enterprise which employs fewer than 50 persons and whose annual turnover, annual balance sheet total doesn't exceed 10 million euros. If yes, it means that your company shall not be applicable to Section 3 of the DSA. Additional obligations for providers of very large online platforms and of very large online search engines to manage system risks are mentioned in Section 5 of the DSA. For them to understand whether your company shall comply with Section 5, you need to analyze whether your company is an online platform, as we mentioned before, or whether your company is an online engine. Online engine means an intermediary service that allows users to input queries in order to perform searches of, in principle, all websites or all websites in a particular language on the basis of a query on any subject in the form of a keyword, voice request, phrase, or other input, and returns results in any format in which information related to the requested content can be found. If yes, it means that your company is an online search engine. Also analyze whether your company is a very large online platform or very large online search engine. It can be very large if it has a number of average monthly active recipients of the service in the EU equal to or higher than 45 million, and the Commission designated your company as a very large online platform or a very large online search engine. Thank you for your attention. I would like to mention that I am a lawyer from Ukraine. That is why I ask you to support Ukraine. And if you support Ukraine, please donate money to the following funds: International Charitable Foundation Come Back Alive at the following link, or a special account to raise funds for Ukrainians armed forces at the following link. I ask you to stand with Ukraine, to support Ukraine, and close the sky over Ukraine. Thank you once more for your attention. Have a nice evening.